I want to reflect on a downfall in my life that I had when I went from age 11 to 13. I gradually saw my grades going down and down and down. Now, why is that? Well, I think I can attribute this process to going on my digital devices and my social media and getting consumed by the device. Let me explain. I got my first iPad at age 11, and I think this is where, and I felt it, a change in my brain pathways occurred. Due to going on Instagram and YouTube from this very point onwards, I started to notice that I couldn't remember my books anymore. The pages of my Guinness World Record books that I very fondly read over and over before I was 11. They're right behind me in that bookshelf. I read these at night, fascinated by it all, and they were the only things that occupied my mind. Now, how capable is our brain of remembering events? It's infinitely capable. Imagine the largest storage capacity in a computer in the world. Now, times that by 1,000 or more. I don't know, it feels like an infinitely larger jump in memory when you go to our human brains. We can remember anything, we just can't unlock that pathway that allows us to live the moment again in our minds. Now, by going on my iPad and then my smartphone, an LG Joy Blue, although not very good, it could still play a couple games. Anyway, when I was 11 and a half, I got that. The LG Joy Blue might have been so bad, but it also catalyzed the process of my brain pathways starting to fail more. I used to remember so many pages of Guinness World Records, I could recite them for 15 minutes straight, but I lost that ability after a while, and now I can't remember a single thing from it except for maybe 10 facts. This form of brain training, where I recited all these facts from the Guinness World Records, helped me exceed in school. In fact, when I joined my secondary school, I was one of just 2 people to first receive the Master's Commendation, which means your grades were very good. One of 2 people. I couldn't believe it. It also helped by the fact that my personality is inherently perfectionist and I strived only for the best. Like one time I got 59.5 out of 60 in a Spanish test and I lost it because I missed one accent. How infuriating is that? That could have been your first 100% in a test, but you missed one accent. I know, it was harsh. And I eventually got 100% in a physics test afterwards. But hey, I was just really prepared. So then when I turned 13, I got an iPhone just a month before my year 8 end of year exams. And over the next year, I would see my academic performance just drop off. I would no longer receive any commendations. It became a lot harder for me to get them. It seemed like the eventual top students in years 11, 12, 13 were not trying as hard as me in year 7 and 8, but then had that drive to study within them once year 9 hit and GCSEs were coming by year 11. But I never really had that drive. It's just a personality trait of mine. I didn't care too much about the subjects of school. My interests lay elsewhere, in the video game world, in the social media world, and now in the YouTube world. You see, being neurodiverse, having Asperger's syndrome, I didn't care as much about the academics because most forms of autism usually involve having an attention deficit, and I guess I had that towards a lot of the subjects I learned about in school. I went to a really good school and it taught me a lot of interesting things, but some things went right into the mind and inspired me to do more, and other things I learned just went in through one ear and out the other. Man, it's just the way of having a neurodiverse mind. What can I say? And therefore, the times I should have been studying were then replaced by times I spent on social media and video games. Until the very last week before end of year exams, in which I would cram all my work in. Well, not all of it, because my grades didn't reflect that. Especially when I got 45% in my biology in year 9. That was a real wake-up call, that I couldn't just cruise by on life on easy mode anymore, because I had degraded my ability to think clearly, and therefore my grades dropped off. And there I saw myself drop all the way from top 2 student to obscurity. And I did very well, but comparatively to my peers, I dropped off, and I most certainly noticed that. So the lesson I want you to hold here is, use your time wisely and in a way that you want to. Not necessarily by social media, because everyone knows that these are distractions and entertainment devices. They don't necessarily make you better at school or just earn money really quickly, although they can if you use it in a good way or in a passionate way. No, you must spend your time productively on a passion or education. I'm not forcing you to do one thing or the other. You need to choose what's right for you, Education is not right for everyone, and that's okay. There are lots of alternatives like apprenticeship schemes and courses like BTECs, which will allow you to get a more hands-on experience of what you want to do. And of course there's making YouTube videos. Who could forget that? A lot of people want to become YouTubers, but hardly anyone is willing to break through that barrier, which is holding you back, saying, I don't want myself to be seen on camera. I don't want to take that big step into a new life. But you just have to shatter that belief and make it through. I know you can make the right decision for yourself. And trust me, I'm figuring it all out alongside you. So please, if you have a story to share in which maybe one aspect of your life dropped off, but you're looking to bring it back, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Thank you for listening. Take care and see you in the next video.